A Town Square media station. WTUG HD2 Northport. And W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9. And streaming on the Tide 100.9. WTUG HD2 Northport. And W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9. And streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. A Town Square media station.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick you, and our running back coach didn't take the biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. The Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaX Sports. It's a beautiful Friday morning, which means it's a free-for-all Friday. Let's get things rolling. Let's welcome in all of our listeners, our viewers, and our chatters. We're live and local on the radio dial at Tide 100.9, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So let us hear from you. You can chat us up, like, share, follow, and donate if you're part of the live stream. We appreciate your support in all of those ways. That allows us to do this show each and every morning, but also allows us to create additional content. So we appreciate you, whether you're a sponsor or a contributor. We appreciate you here on the Martin Houston Show. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. It is absolutely up to you and a chance for you to make a difference. So I'd like for you to do just that. Speaking of making a difference, it's a free-for-all Friday, so we can talk about any and everything, well, just about any and everything on your mind that relates to the sports world, at least. Lots of different conversations to get to regarding Alabama basketball as they were able to keep the train moving. If you are a Bama fan and you liked Alabama going into yesterday, are you now even more excited about Alabama hoops and a chance to make a run to the national title, as the basketball guys, at least on yesterday, seem to be favoring the Crimson Tide? We'll talk about what that means as we move throughout the morning, but Alabama taking care of business 96-75. A couple stars jumped out at us. Good games. Brandon Miller. Question I asked yesterday: would the security impact Brandon Miller or not? Brandon Miller held scoreless. Was it the security? Was it the stress of it all? Or was it the growing? All of that we can talk about. So I'll leave it up to you to give your thoughts and your opinions here in just a moment. So you can call us at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. So let me hear from you. Let's hear from you there, or post your question, your thoughts, your comments in chat. Also, the Spears Speak Up lawsuit in the balance. And very, very possible some young man may not make his dreams come true on the court, but he may have some dreams come true in other ways. As the Spears speak out, the university speaks out. We'll get to those statements and comments later. And so, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to get to. So I want to invite you to get in on the conversation. Oh yeah. By the way, today used to be the day. Today used to be the day. What am I talking about? Let's bring X into the conversation. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Well, X, today used to be the day. You know what day that is?
I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness. Aiden, you know what today used to be? It's tradition.
Would that be the start of spring practice?
Yes, it's tradition. And it's gone. A tradition is dead. And so yeah, today would have been the first day of spring practice.
Yeah, I
And
thought that would have been last Friday.
huh?
I thought
No,
that would have been last Friday.
no, it's the Friday.
Before spring break.
It's the Friday before. That's right. It would have been last Friday. No.
Yeah, no, they're on spring break. Yeah.
Did Alabama go on spring
All
break?
the interns are gone.
Huh? They went on spring break this week, didn't they?
All of them. All the
So
interns.
he kicked it a full week and a half. See, and to my point, you're right. It would have been last Friday, X. But what brought it to my attention but it proves my point, is there appears to be an early enrollee got arrested.
Yep.
And I think that's why Saban used to always do it right before. You're right. It was always the week before spring practice, and then he would turn around, and I think it was that message he would give them, and it would be on their mind that if you mess up during this week, you are going to be throwing away potentially a great opportunity. So Tony Mitchell, unfortunately, arrested on drug charges. Hopefully, he and Mr. Lewis will not be suffering too many consequences. But if law is violated, they will have to face whatever that may be. Current possession of marijuana with intent to sell or delivery. But so we'll see what happens there. Unfortunate, but I can tell you that spring practice used to help with those types. You know, so, but here's reality. Just a couple quick things. Any thoughts on spring practice? I know we got basketball, but man, yesterday was a no brainer win. Any thoughts on football for Monday?
Yeah, I mean, one, the whole Tony Mitchell situation is just a terrible situation for him, but it just shows like you got to be smart when it comes down to protecting yourself and not doing things so stupid that it can cost you everything. Because I mean, we don't know what the long-term ramifications are yet for Tony and the guy that he was with.
Yeah.
But hopefully, this is a wake-up call for everybody else that is on the team that you need to stay focused and keep your head on straight.
Yep, and we'll see. We'll talk some football. Got plenty of time to get to that, but as we get things rolling on this Friday morning, what are your thoughts from the game on yesterday as Alabama took care of business with a easy win, but several interesting things to come out of that we can talk to.
I think Alabama showed why they're potentially the deepest team in the country yesterday. You're talking about Brandon Miller. We talked about all of his accomplishments yesterday and how he's the best freshman potentially across any sport to ever play at the University of Alabama. And he's held scoreless, and Alabama still puts up 96 points in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Huge game from Nick Pringle. Mark Sears got his shot back. JQ. I mean, it was just an overall team effort yesterday that was very impressive.
Yeah, and you don't want to see a kid be held scoreless, but was it a good thing as far as the longevity for Alabama in a run in this tournament? Was yesterday a good thing in terms of Miller not showing up? I know it's a small opponent, but when shots go through the goal, confidence is built. I don't care who you're playing. That's why if you're a shooter, you keep shooting, and the opponent is irrelevant in terms of when you're getting your shot. It's your stroke that matters, and it appears that at least a couple guys got their stroke back yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to see it, but I think it was good for the team to know, hey, Brandon doesn't have to carry us every game. We got other guys that can step up and make big plays. And, everybody forgets the Houston game. Yes, Brandon went 13 from 13 from the free throw line, but he didn't hit a field goal against Houston, and Alabama was able to win that game, one of the top teams in this tournament. So, I mean, we know Brandon being everyday thing for Brandon. We know next game he's going to come out and he's going to have a good game. But for the confidence of everyone else, this was.
Yeah, I thought that big things happened in that game. A couple of those. One, of course, is Sears and him. It was big time, but I think one of the guys that I have said the entire time, outside of Sears, I think Sears is absolutely mission critical. But another guy I had was Pringle. Needs to play big and good in this tournament and help Alabama's mission of physicality. And I think with Alabama's upcoming matchup, I think him getting some confidence, I think is going to help Alabama as they prepare to take on their next opponent. Come back on the other side. We'll keep the conversation going about this Alabama basketball team. Did the basketball gods shine on the Crimson Tide and their opportunity to be champions on yesterday? We'll talk about it right here on the Martin Houston Show as we prepare to go to break. Want to invite you to get in on the conversation. You can add your thoughts and your comments in your chat. Your conversation and thoughts, questions on chat, or you can call the Alabama One hotline at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. We'll be back on the other side for more conversation right here on this Free for All Friday.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center on a rainy, stormy Friday morning, we've got a wreck on McFarland westbound at US 43 in Northport. You can expect some delays there. A lot of standing water on the roadways. Slow down, lights and wipers on, and be careful. Townsend Nissan is loaded with new and used vehicles, all at great pricing. Check them out today at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
The weather outside might be cold, but these deals at Townsend Nissan are hot, like $2,000 discounts on select new Nissans and finance rates as low as 1.9. Wow! And up to 90 days before your first payment, Townsend Nissan has the inventory that you want with over 200 new and used units in stock. And yes, we want that trade-in regardless of its condition today. And yes, Townsend Nissan does build some of the most fuel-efficient, safe, and economical vehicles on the road. Keep your family safe in a Townsend Nissan. Y'all come see us today.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, quick and easy. And soon, you turn and realize Hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor with over 26 years experience in Tuscaloosa. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-2503.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Cloudy with rain much of the day today, maybe a thunderstorm in spots, and turning colder this afternoon. The high will be in the low 60s this morning. Temperatures falling through the 50s this afternoon. For tonight, mostly cloudy with the low at 33, and tomorrow, mostly cloudy, the high 54. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 59 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Softmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at softmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9. We had great comments come in that first quarter. CJ Watson saying they already had planned to limit Brandon minutes, and the fact that there was no all caps need to play him was great for Alabama. Curtis Lewis saying Miller's injury was obvious with his short shots. CJ Watson, I like this. Yesterday was a good thing. If nothing else, it reminded Mark Sears he's a shooter. And of course, Curtis Lewis starting to show off when I mentioned, hey, listen, X, I know we are in a special time for Alabama football. Curtis Lewis told me just we don't care about any of that spring practice and football stuff because we got basketball. Alabama hoops taking over the capstone with Nate Oates and company. So we'll keep the conversation going right here on the Martin Houston Show with Xavier. Alabama, the football gods, basketball gods shined on Alabama on yesterday in a big time way. If they're able to get past this next one, I think in a lot of ways, many brackets had Alabama facing either Maryland or West Virginia. I think more people went with West Virginia over Maryland, but they got the 2-point win, and many had Virginia over San Diego State, but Furman helped win that one. Did you see the end of the Furman game?
I did, and that was you can't make a play like that in that type of situation.
Yeah, he panicked. Like literally, he had a timeout. Worst case, just keep holding the ball. They hadn't, but he would have got a potential loss of possession had he held the ball. But that would have been better than throwing it to lead to a wide open shot. But just could have used the timeout. But anyway, we appreciate it. Virginia out. I know some people thought Alabama would have an easy time with Virginia because of the scoring ability of the Tide. But on the other hand, that defense from Virginia can present problems for offenses. So, you know, a number 4 seed out, and then of course Arizona going down to Princeton 59-55. Whew. Big time X in terms of what's available for um, Alabama and what they want to see happen in terms of this tournament.
Yeah, and to put it in perspective, yesterday I heard there was like 0.7 perfect brackets left at the end of yesterday. So that just shows you how few people thought either Furman or Princeton would win those games. But hey, it's called March Madness for a reason, and it really comes down to the plays on the court and not the numbers or the names of the schools. So
yeah, that
looking at
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Those perfect brackets have to be people who filled out like hundreds of brackets. You know what I mean? Like when you look at it, for somebody to have picked both Furman and Princeton, there was a lot of multi-bracket people out there that picked that, and it still was only a few that did so. You know, and we will get to the Auburn, win and situation is an interesting one. The Houston coach making comments about maybe they should just be a 9 seed, throwing shade at Auburn and getting to play in Birmingham. We can talk about that because it was mentioned in comments. But let's circle back to this Alabama Maryland matchup and game. How serious do you think this injury to Brandon Miller is?
Well, I mean, we're not 100% sure what it is unless something came out after the game, correct?
They said he's nursing a sore groin.
Okay, so I mean,
could be several things.
It could be serious. It could be serious. It could not be. I mean, maybe yesterday was just one of those deals where it was like, hey, we don't have to play them a lot. We don't have to. We don't need them. Just because Alabama believes they're a lot better team than Texas A&M Corpus Christi with or without Brandon. So hopefully it's just a precautionary thing, and he'll be good to go. And he was kind of taking it easy yesterday.
Yeah, Aiton, do you think as far as the groin itself, do you think it was serious in terms of the injury, or was he just overly cautious yesterday and not pushing it? Because I didn't get. I had to occasionally peep at the game because I had to work yesterday. The question is, how serious is it?
I think it's very serious. I'd like to believe that it's just a overly cautious thing, but these groin injuries, if you're playing any sort of athletic position that requires you to cut on a dime and be agile more than necessarily just flat out fast, this is something that can linger. This is something that can substantially affect your game. In basketball, it affects your shot. I mean, we saw Jerry Jeudy have like absolutely no production coming right out of Bama just because he had a groin injury in his either rookie or sophomore campaign. It happens to high-end wide receivers all the time, so this is very serious, and I hope it's not a trend moving forward. I hope we were overly cautious playing the 16 seed because we're going to need him against a school like Maryland.
Yeah, and now let me make sure you guys understand the question. If it's a groin injury, then a groin injury is serious. I guess my question is it just a little tight, but not pulled, not strained or anything? because I can tell you, if you've played sports, you know the greater the team, the greater the adrenaline. The more adrenaline, the more those muscles work, etc. So here's the question. I guess is a better way. X, not is it a serious blow to Alabama if his groin is really messed up. Alabama's chances diminish. Diminish. I don't think they go away. I think this team is a really good scrappy team, and I think that yesterday actually helped more than anything. And I also think that if you look, you know, at times he was able to run up and down the court, uh, and and some people may have picked up on it uh, just watching the game, but I think a lot more people, it was hindsight that gave them insight into his injury. In other words, during the game, it looked like a guy that just was kind of going through the motions and not really being that aggressive, you know, player that we've become used to. But once you find out his injury, it makes more sense. That's what's going on. You know, but the big thing for Alabama was Sears got his shot back. Pringle came off the bench. Gurley did his thing, you know, and Curtis Lewis mentioned in Welch. These guys, I'm telling you, when you go to our bench, if Quinley isn't the starter, our bench is listen to this. Quinterly, Gurley, Pringle, Namari Burnett, and Riley Griffin. That team would have made the SEC made it to the NCAA tournament. And
Yeah,
those five guys would. Where would you pick those five guys? Where would you pick? How deep would you pick our bench? Think about that for a second. Throw a couple of decent bench players on with. with I'm not sure you wouldn't take that team in a good matchup against the team that made it to the overtime game with UCLA.
yeah, you probably would. I mean, that team was just free throws away from winning that game.
So that is crazy because I don't think we've seen. I think Welch's injury held him back, but Welch was an offensive weapon where he was at. Pringle was the top junior college player and looked like it. You know, even though I know the competition was down a little bit, but what I saw in Pringle yesterday, I've seen that against like Mississippi State and others. So some people are like, you're putting too much on yesterday's win. No, I'm not. I think Pringle, if Pringle wasn't playing behind Bediako, who was the defensive player of the year, I think he would get more minutes on any other prior Alabama basketball team. So it's interesting to see. And as you go into Maryland, you know, how much do we push Brandon Miller early if it's, you know, early in that game?
Brandon is what you want if he's a little bit of as a decoy. Just being honest, like, you know, he's not going to be 0 for 5 again. I don't believe. Yeah. So even if he's a decoy to take pressure off and pull guys because he's such a threat, and you don't want to accidentally leave him open and that shot start falling.
Yeah. I mean, I still love Alabama's team. I think that this Alabama team, I don't think Maryland can score with this team if they're shooting. I mean, 96 points yesterday without your top scorer. Of course, Pringle kind of filled in that spot and hit Brandon's point total, almost his average. So it was interesting to watch that. A couple other guys stepped up big yesterday. We'll talk about those stat lines. We'll talk about Alabama and their path to new heights and what it looks like. We'll look at a couple of other games that happen around the country as well. And if you got something you'd like to bring into the conversation regarding this Alabama team and Alabama basketball, please feel free to add it to the conversation. We'll have more of that right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. That conversation coming up next.
This is a Town Square Media Tide 100.9 Sports Update.
I'm Kim Rankin with your Tide Sports Update. Alabama forward Brandon Miller has made conference history by being the only person to win SEC Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, and Tournament MVP in the same season. Alabama men's basketball head coach Nate Oates has reached out to Louisville transfer Kamari Lands.
This has been a Town Square Media Tide 100.9 Sports Update. Run it again! For more info on these stories and more, download the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center on a rainy, stormy Friday morning, we've got a wreck on McFarland westbound at US 43 in Northport. You can expect some delays there. A lot of standing water on the roadways. Slow down, lights and wipers on, and be careful. Townsend Nissan is loaded with new and used vehicles, all at great pricing. Check them out today at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
You know what happens in a plasma chamber?
Big stuff. Science stuff.
Diamonds. I'm Tom Osmond. Fincher & Osmond Jewelers carries artisan-created diamonds.
Earth and human safe.
And bigger. Lots bigger.
Fincher & Osmond diamonds from the mines or artisan-created diamonds.
They're all diamonds.
If you want to give her the big stuff, you've got to see these diamonds.
FincherandOsmond.com. A little tricky to find on McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
Lace up those running shoes for the Visit Tuscaloosa Half Marathon and Publix 5K on Saturday, March 25th in Government Plaza. Register for the Publix 5K or Half Marathon before rates go up on February 28th at TuscaloosaHalf.com.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental-car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance and is backed by an entire team of people you know and trust. Rent a Toyota and let's go places. Reserving yours is a breeze at TuscaloosaToyota.com.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Hey, go check out Alabama One. Alabama1.org is where you can find out all this great information I'm about to share. Hey, if you want to take home $500 or you want to take home a big green egg, we have two ways for you to get that. The big green egg, if you're out looking for, I call them those springtime toys, wrecked vehicles, ATVs, UTVs, boats, motorcycles, etc., or maybe small farm equipment, go to one of our branch locations. You can get up to $250 cash back, 60 days no pay, as well as get entered to win a big green egg. If you're in the market and hey, you want to pay for those, put them on a credit card, or if you already have an Alabama One credit card, you can win by using that card to swipe. The more you swipe, the more entries you get. And the more entries you get, of course, the more chances you have to win the weekly $500 prize. If you don't have an Alabama One card, you need to get the card, especially our variable rate card, starting as low as 10.99, almost half of what you're going to get anywhere else. You can get that, and you will be entered to win the monthly $500. So up to $2,500 available to win via credit card challenge and a big green egg on a small erect farm commercial ag land equipment. Go to alabama1.org, find out all information, or stop by one of our branch locations and a manager or team member will assist you. That's Alabama1.org. What's your one? All right, let's keep the conversation going, X. As we do that, I was asking about, Alabama's journey to a national title just got easier if they get past Maryland, but their pathway, many had it, including Maryland or Virginia, and then either San Diego State or Furman. Now, it's possible Furman could, be the Cinderella team this year as they took down Virginia. But San Diego State beating Charleston 63-57, so that wasn't a blowout in the 5-12 matchup. So there's no guarantee that Alabama may not be playing Furman to get to the the Elite Eight. So Alabama takes care of business in the round of 32 against Maryland. They're looking at either San Diego State or Furman. You'd have to like Alabama in those games. But when you look at the lower bracket, there's Missouri and Princeton, as Princeton upset Arizona. So the only top seed and top 4 seeds left is Baylor, and they play today, which you expect them to advance. And Creighton versus North Carolina State. I had Baylor coming out of that matchup, but you have to like Alabama chances to make a decent run if the Brandon Miller growing shows stay strong. So thoughts on what the percentage, I would love to see what those percentages are now with Alabama, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, that would be an interesting thing to look at. But I mean, this is an Alabama team that I don't think it mattered. A healthy Alabama team, I don't think it mattered really who you put in front of them, but it definitely does make the road a little bit easier with those teams winning and those massive upsets at this point in the tournament. Most people stick with the teams that come in favored, but once again, when it comes down to play on the court, that's all that matters. And Furman and San Diego State and teams like that have proven that just because we have a high seed or a low seed doesn't mean that we won't come out and play our best game, and you better bring yours and not overlook us.
Yeah, March Madness is exactly that. One of the greatest names for a sporting event I think I've ever seen, as far as what it means, and it wasted little time getting started. But the team I think that probably drew the the worst draw would have to be the Houston Cougars, as they're preparing to take on Auburn. Did you get to watch the Auburn game yesterday?
I didn't catch it.
Hey, did you get to see that Auburn game yesterday?
I didn't see the Auburn game, but I saw the Houston game.
The Auburn shot threes like Alabama. I mean, in the second half, it was 1 point. The game ended up 83-75, but at one point Auburn had a 17 to 18 point lead or something like that. They just went off. It was about 4 or 5 possessions in a row that burst that game wide open, where I think they hit three or four threes in a row, including Broom. I mean, big guys hitting threes. Everybody was hitting threes in that little spurt. And then Iowa was chasing. But Auburn's defense also made a big thing. But Auburn's already in Houston's head. They're not happy that they're having to play. And I do think I don't know who Auburn knows or who they're connected with. I do think it's unfortunate for Houston that Auburn ends up playing in Birmingham. You got a number 1 seed. That to me, that was, and I like to get your thought from a bracketology standpoint. Auburn must have had somebody on the selection committee, because to give a number 9 seed a pretty much a home game if they won out against the number 1, you had to know that was a very, very distinct possibility when you did an 8-9 matchup. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at that, it's not fair. It's not fair, but guess what? Life ain't fair, and
yeah,
it's the way
life ain't fair. Life ain't fair, but this was not life happening. This was a choice, and that's the difference. I think I get the life's not fair type of thing, but would we be pissed if we had to go and play in a bracket? And if there was a team and we were having to play Maryland pretty much in a home court game, would we be saying the same thing if there was this first round or round 2 was in Maryland's home state and they were a 9 and they were a 9 seed and we were the number 1 seed? How would we feel about that? That's where you have to answer that question. Yeah.
I mean, we would complain just like anybody else would complain. I mean, that's just the thing about it. But I mean, Auburn got the luck of the draw, and Houston, if you're the better team, show up and prove you're the better team.
But see, in football, I buy that. I don't buy that in basketball. Home court in basketball, home court changes things. Right or wrong, X? Right or wrong, Aiden? Does home court matter in basketball?
Probably not as much in basketball as it does in football.
Oh, you're crazy.
I mean, yeah.
You said home court matters more in football?
I think so, yeah.
No, not even close. Not even close.
I think it's pretty. No, I think it's pretty big.
Well, y'all are crazy. Y'all don't make me call y'all crazy up here, man.
Put this into perspective. Auburn hasn't beaten Alabama in Tuscaloosa since 2010.
You all are looking
and beating us in Auburn 3 times.
You're looking at Alabama, Auburn. I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about just the Iron Bowl.
But, okay, look at Alabama football this past year. Where did we lose? Where did we have our hard games? We had them on the road. We dominated pretty much everybody at home.
Who did we play at home?
We struggled at Texas. We struggled at Tennessee. We lost at Tennessee. We lost at LSU. I think it's pretty big in football.
No one other than you two probably would think that basketball gives football is better at home. The students are on the court. Why do you think we're trying to get rid of Coleman Coliseum? You go back and look. Let's look at where we lost last year. We lost at Tennessee and we lost at LSU. But we lost at those games because those teams outplayed us and we played bad. What did the crowd do in Tennessee we used to love to play on the road because all you had to do is shut the crowd up, and then the rest of the game it's a home game. Basketball, guys, the only reason we're upset with Coleman is because the students are way up away from the court.
Actually, we've got some hard data to back Martin up here on this. American football teams across the board, collegiate and professional, have a 57.9% win percentage at home, whereas Division I college basketball teams have never dipped below 64% win percentage at home. And in the past 5 seasons, it's been around 69%.
Yeah, I mean, and it's because of the student. It's more. It's more. Don't think about all the other sports. Think about D1 division, March Madness, crazy students. It's that student impact. I mean, it is. You go back and look at Alabama this year basketball. See, to me in Alabama football, I can look at the Auburn story, Xavier. Nick Saban has never beat a good Auburn football team. And nobody wants to talk about that. Every time Auburn has had 9 or more wins, it hadn't mattered where we played them. He has not beat a 9 to 10 win team that Auburn has put on the field.
So Auburn's been that bad.
Yes.
On even years.
Yeah.
Just specifically the even years when they come to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
They've been that bad every year.
Yes, it really is. It's the craziest thing. Auburn has a good year, and then they start trending down. I don't think go back and check me. I don't think Saban has ever beat an Auburn team that won 9 or more games. I know he's never beat a 10-win Auburn team. I think it's 9 though. When
and that actually goes back to LSU, doesn't it?
Huh? Yeah,
that's not just an Alabama thing. I think that's the LSU thing as well.
It's possible, but yeah, and guys, I apologize for calling y'all crazy, but y'all just shocked me when y'all said that. Now, Aiden said Houston gets to Final Four at home. I have very little sympathy. I get that, but the reality of it is this, guys. If you get to the Final Four, at home, then you've won a lot of road games. I'm not as somebody has to host when it comes to that, but to get a 1-game win and then have a home game against a number 9, and I think that's the problem. If this was a 1-2 matchup, then I wouldn't be as it probably is upset. That makes sense. X. I wouldn't be as upset if this was 1-2. But the fact that it's 1 and 9, the lower half of the bracket getting a home game over the top seed in their bracket, in their region, there was a lot of places and a lot of choices and a lot of decisions that you could have put Auburn somewhere else. If Auburn was a legit 9 seed, then you could have put Florida Atlantic and Auburn against Memphis in the East. You could have, you could have put, if they had been the 9 seed out of the South bracket, no, that would have put them here against us. So nope, that doesn't work. Or if you take the West bracket and make them a 9 seed, they would have been playing against Arkansas, and then they would have had to face Kansas, but it wouldn't have been in Birmingham, and that's the point. That's just my thoughts. We're gonna get the break here, and then we'll close out some thoughts on this lawsuit and any other thoughts about Alabama hoops. Virgil said, "I'm with you on this, but the narrative you just used about Auburn, if AU beats Alabama, they have a greater win total, so that may be skewed." No, it's when Virgil, it's when Auburn has come into the game. I think it's when Auburn has come into the game with 9 wins or more. When it's been a good Auburn team, we've never beat them. I mean, that's Now, what you have to realize, that's not all Nick Saban's fault. There's been times when it wouldn't matter if Auburn had 10 wins or 11 wins. We had the better team that year anyway. But when Auburn has shown up with a good team in the Nick Saban era, they've not been able to beat them regardless. Fortunately, that hasn't happened a lot. But more than any other team. Remember, Gus Malzahn has more wins against Nick Saban than any other coach out there. Kirby's trying to close that deal, though. Coming back on the other side, we'll finish up this Friday edition of the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about the carelessness that happens in media and lawsuit pending.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, on a rainy Friday morning, we've got a disabled vehicle. This is on Veterans Memorial Parkway, just west of Loop Road, so you can expect some delays there. Watch out, it's in the curve. Right now, Townsend Nissan has a great selection of new and used vehicles at great prices and low financial rates. Go see them today. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. The capital murder trial of Karan Rashad Lewis, the last suspect in the 2017 Jennifer Nevin murder case, is underway. The body of a 23-year-old woman was found off Watermelon Road in a wooded area near a gas well. 3 other suspects involved in this case, Karan Rashad Lewis, Kendrick Keandre Marshall, and Vida Milagros Confetti Duenas, were all charged with capital murder, and they pleaded guilty. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
When you or your family is in a car accident and injured, I've experienced it firsthand, and I highly recommend Stephen Mesrano, Mesrano Law. Call now, 205-800-8000, 205-800-8000.
Looking for a car that's as reliable and powerful as Julio Jones on the field? Look no further than Julio Jones Kia. Julio Jones Kia is still West Alabama's place to buy a new car. With unbeatable features like advanced safety systems, cutting-edge technology, and superior performance, Julio Jones Kia vehicles are the perfect choice for anyone who demands excellence. Come in today and experience the thrill of driving a car that's as legendary as Julio Jones himself on Greensboro Avenue in Tuscaloosa, or 24/7 at buyfromjulio.com.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back. But you're going to love it, and you're going to love the price. Internet for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now. 800-917-1799. 800-917-1799. 800-917-1799. That's 800-917-1799.
See America in your new Burton Campers RV. Be certain with Burton. Burton Campers at exit 231 on I-65 in Calera. Nobody sells RVs for less.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We're powered by MaX Sports. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show. I appreciate you so much for what you do. Do want to encourage you, if you happen to be a business owner or someone out there looking to have a great show to sponsor you in Alabama and around the state of Alabama and beyond, and get great value for your money, then let us know right here on the Martin Houston Show. You can shoot me an email at martin@martinhouston.org, martin@martinhouston.org. And if you're an individual that appreciate what we do, like, follow, share, and donate, all you have to do is click on the QR code that pops on your screen. We're glad to have you as a part of the Martin Houston Show. I used to call them Martin Maniacs. We may need to go back to that name, but glad that you're a part of what we do each and every day. All right, X, big time story a couple of days ago. We really didn't get into it too much, but New York Times, man, just carelessly published that Spears was in the car. I did not know he was the son of the athletic director at Marshall, but the family, dad, son, and now UA making a statement. Young man's probably about to get paid. What you think?
Yeah, I definitely see that potentially being in his future.
Yeah, it's really sad though that they would do something like that. And I'm gonna tell you, this is just Martin throwing it out there. I'm not saying that there wasn't someone else there other than Jayden and Miller. I'm just wondering, just me thinking out loud, was there another white guy there and they just assumed because Brandon Miller and Spears are friends? Because it's crazy to say that they saw it in a video and there was someone else there if there wasn't, but this person was not a player. And the university is not obligated to give his name or their name. But they tried to do a deductive reasoning and make it so. I don't know, because it's crazy that they went out on a limb, but it shows you just how the media has changed, and you have all of these, Joes behind the, and I'm not let me say Joes. You have all of these people with no integrity, and some were even trained, and they still don't act as such behind keyboards that keep making stories. But hey, we'll keep it going right here on the Martin Houston Show. We'll be back Monday to talk about Alabama's big win, trip to the Sweet 16 as they take down the Maryland Terrapins. What you think they're winning by, X? I'm going to go with a W.
I will say they win by 12.
All right.
12
double-digit win, somewhere between 10 and 15 points. Let's get it done, Todd. We'll be back on Monday. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding in all your ways. Acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Hey, and if you're looking for a place to visit Harvest Church on Sunday out on Highway 82 in Coker. Roll Tide out there, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, on a rainy Friday morning, we've got a disabled vehicle. This is on Veterans Memorial Parkway, just west of Loop Road, so you can expect some delays there. Watch out, it's in the curve. Right now, Townsend Nissan has a great selection of new and used vehicles at great prices and low finance rates. Go see them today. I'm Captain Ray.
Using your phone should never have to be a luxury. Walmart Family Mobile now offers free or discounted plans for the Affordable Connectivity Program.